Okay. So, today's class, we are going to discuss the next concept in molecules. That is what Dalton's atomic theory. So now in last class, we have discussed what is law of conservation of mass. That is what laws of chemical combination. So we have three laws. In the two we studied and one we will study. As it is not there for ninth, we'll discuss it in the later modules. So law of conservation of mass we studied, and as well as law of constant composition, or we can say law of definite composition, or we can say law of fixed composition. Now, today's class, with the help of this, then there is a scientist whose name is Dalton, John Dalton. He has gave his theory in order to explain the laws to study the different properties of matter. That is what we are going to discuss in our today's class. So that is only we call it as, yes, Mari.
This theory is to study about different properties of matter, sir.
Yes. How the matter is present. That is what we'll study. Okay. So let us understand first. So we have studied two laws, law of conservation of mass and law of constant composition. With the help of that only, Mr. Dalton, John Dalton, formed a theory called as Dalton's atomic theory. This is the most important theory. Till today, many valid points will be considered from Dalton's atomic theory about atom and structure of atom. So what exactly it is, all of you observe. According to the law of chemical combination, if you have taken, how many laws we have? Two laws. Am I right, everybody? For ninth class?
Yes,
Yeah, how many laws we have? Everybody?
two laws.
Two laws. One is law of conservation of mass, law of definite proportion. So if you have taken, according to these two laws, if you have taken a matter, so matter is composed of a smaller particles. These particles actually can see, according to the law of constant composition, the ratio is always fixed. Am I right or not? Please respond.
Yes.
Yes, that is it. So, matter is composed of smaller particles, and these particles participate in a chemical combination always in a fixed ratio. So that is what always they will be there, a constant ratio will be there in the given chemical substance. So that is what we will say from both laws. That is why mass is neither be created nor be destroyed, or the number of atoms of a given particular compound or element always remains in a fixed ratio. So, Dalton gave his theory in order to explain these two laws, explain the laws to study the different properties of matter. So, this theory, Dalton's atomic theory, was based upon the divisibility of matter. Divisibility of matter. Sir, what do you mean by divisibility? That is what? Divisibility means, what does it mean? Means, that is what? The matter is made up of tiny particles. So based upon this only, so there is no mass with a big. Every mass contains large number of small particles. So that is what, based upon that, Mr. John Dalton's, they have given about his life. There is a paragraph in book, you can go through that.
The divisibility of
Matter. Understand? So what does it mean? That is what? The divisibility of matter means the matter is made up of tiny particles. That is what we used to say divisibility of matter. So about John Dalton, they have given a paragraph. You can read where he born, what is his life and all. Now let us comes to what is the postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. So that is the most important one. So of course some points are wrong, but later now you should learn it. So what is the main postulates or the points which Mr. Dalton suggested about the atoms on matter? That is what we are going to see. So Dalton's atomic theory, the main postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. So first point, with the observation of many experiments, many chemical like verifications of law of conservation of mass and law of constant proportion, the first conclusion which is made by Mr. Dalton's about a matter is atom is the smallest particle of any substance. Atom is the what, everybody? Atom is the smallest particle of any substance which cannot be divided further. Do you understand, everyone? All of you? But of course, later it has been proved wrong because atom can be further divided into protons, neutrons, electrons, and of course we can separate them also. So what does it mean? Atom is indivisible. That is the first point which is postulates are mentioned by Mr. John Dalton. What is that? Atoms are extremely smaller and further divisible of atoms is not possible. That is what we used to say. The first postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. Do you understand, everybody? Clear? Shivani? Good morning, Agalya. All of you. Next. Second point. Atoms neither be created. That is what conservation of mass. What is conservation of mass? Anybody can tell? What is conservation?
Mass is neither created
Neither be created nor be destroyed. That's all. Here instead
but
of
the energy is
yes,
changed.
energy changes. But that is only here instead of matter, he put atom. So atom can neither be created nor destroyed during a chemical reaction.
Sir, then how is it formed, sir?
Huh?
Sir, they are saying that we cannot destroy it or create it.
Already whatever it is there, it is just we are transforming, Mari. We are not creating. Matter is already existed. That matter just we are modifying according to what we need. That's
Yes, sir.
clear, everybody? Next thing. So you can see, if I take for example, oxygen gas, third point. Before explaining, I'm explaining that. I have taken a what, everybody? Oxygen gas. Okay. So what is the third postulates of Dalton's means? If I take oxygen gas, every oxygen particle is similar or different? Everybody? Is it similar or different? Every atom. Please respond. All of you. Similar or different? If I take suppose one cylinder of oxygen gas, every atom will be similar or different? Everybody? Please respond.
Similar.
Similar. And suppose I'm having one iron bar, I will cut it into 100 atoms. Do you think each atom will be different and each atom is having different mass? That is what is my question. Everybody?
No, sir.
No. But of course, this is wrong. Later you will study in 4th chapter. We will get isotopes and isobars. By that time, Mr. Dalton's theory was wrong. But of course, now we want to study, we'll study. So for a particular element, all its atoms, they're identical or different, everybody. They're identical or different, guys. They are identical. Yes. Identical in all respects and have same mass. But this is wrong. They are identical, but their mass is maybe differs. That we'll study later. Okay. Same mass and same chemical properties. Same chemical properties. Okay. That is what. Of course, we'll study drawbacks of Dalton atomic theory. That is, by the time you will understand it. Clear? Dalton, what he said about the atom is only Dalton's atomic theory. Understand? Not Laksha, nothing else is there. He's speaking about the atoms. He's speaking about the matter of a particle. That is what we used to call it as Dalton's atomic theory. He's giving what is atom and how the atom will be. That is what we used to say Dalton's atomic theory. Clear?
Sir, no, sir. So this Dalton atomic theory is based on what, sir?
Based upon the law of chemical combinations.
Yes, sir.
Clear, Mari?
Then what is mean by it, sir?
Huh?
So what is mean by Dalton's atomic theory, sir? What
This
is
is only, this is what, the points what he is speaking is only Dalton's atomic theory. What he is describing about the atom is only Dalton's atomic theory. Clear? That's what I said, Mari. The theory was based upon the divisibility of matter. That's what. The matter is made up of a tiny particles. So how it is made up of, what it is exactly, how it will be differs. So what is Dalton's theory in order to explain the different properties of matter? That's what we used to say Dalton's theory. To study the different properties of matter, what is the conclusions? What is the points made by Dalton? That's what Dalton's atomic theory. Clear? Understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Next. That is our third point. Fourth point. Now, I will take hydrogen atom. I will take oxygen atom. I will take nitrogen atom. Do you think all these three atoms are having same mass and same size and same chemical properties? Everybody? No.
No, sir.
So that is only his fourth point. Atoms of different elements have different masses. Don't try to learn the point, understand the point, and then you write. Different masses. Is the size is same, Agalya, girls? Size is not same. And is the chemical properties are same? No. So that is what you have to remember. So this is what is the fourth point of Dalton's. Next, fifth point. Now, this is based upon the second law of chemical combination. What is the second law of chemical combination, everybody? What is the second law of chemical combination? Everybody. What is second law of chemical combination?
Constant composition.
Law of constant proportion, not combination, constant proportion. So always in a given compound, suppose if I take a water, always the number of hydrogens are how many? 2. Number of oxygens are how many? 1. And what is the mass ratio? What is the mass ratio? We have done it. 1:8. Yes, remember? This ratio remains same, is always fixed. The number and kind of atoms in a given compound. If you go anywhere in the world, water contains always the same number and same mass and same elements. If you go to America water does not contain carbon dioxide. America water does not made up of some other thing. Indian water does not made up of some other thing. Every water is only 2 elements That is what? Hydrogen and everybody.
Oxygen.
Like that. Write it. Atoms of different elements. Atoms of different elements. Some points are invalid, but later some points has been, still some points are true, some points are not true. Later only we have been fine. So,
one doubt, sir.
yeah.
Postulates means itself, it's just a theory, but it
Postulates
is not
means, yes,
proved.
what is
But it's not
making?
truth, sir.
Yes, that's what. It just is making assumptions. That's
Yes,
okay.
sir.
So
Sir,
atoms
in
of
the
different.
days, did they prove it?
Which one?
This theory?
This theory, some points are proved, some points are invalid.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's what
Yes.
we'll study. That's why I said that is what we'll say drawbacks of Dalton's atomic theory. Next chapter they will come actually, but of course we'll study that, no problem. So atoms of different elements combine in a fixed ratio. This is true. This is true only a fixed ratio to form compound. This is always true only. You understand? So like that. So some points is true. Compounds. During formation of compounds, this is most important point. During formation of compounds, and one more thing I want to say you. Now, have you noticed anywhere? Suppose let me take HCl. I take H2O. I take H2SO4. Everywhere have you see that number of hydrogens? Can you tell me here? How many number of hydrogens? One. Number of hydrogens. Two. Number of hydrogens. Two. Have you noticed this? One, two, three. These all are what? They are perfect numbers. They are whole numbers. Is it their decimals or their fractions? Everybody? Yes. Is that decimals, fractions, or they are the whole numbers?
Whole number.
So remember, any element, anywhere you can see, always it will be in a whole number only. Simplest possible whole number. They will combine to form the compounds only in simplest whole number ratio. Do you understand that? That is always very important. Balancing chemical equation, we will study that. Always you have to balance the equation with the simplest possible whole numbers. That is what you have to remember. So during formation of compounds, these atoms combine in whole number, not in fraction. Clear, everybody? Please respond. Because as atoms are divisible or not divisible? Atoms are divisible or indivisible? Everybody. Atoms are indivisible. That is why they will always combine in a only whole number. No fractions, no decimals. That is you have to remember. Next, sixth point. The number and kind of atoms in a given compound is always fixed or varies, guys. Please respond. The number and kind of atoms. If you go anywhere in the world, the number of hydrogens are 2, number of oxygens are 1 in water, and the kind. Kind means same hydrogen atom, same oxygen atom everywhere in the world. So that is what? The number and kind of atoms. In a given compound. Is always fixed. That is the fifth point. Next, sixth point, seventh point. These atoms, if you notice it everywhere, atoms are present together. Together they are presented. So single atom cannot be existed. That is what? Atom cannot exist independently. That is what is the what? Atoms are always take part in a chemical reaction to become stable. So they will never alone. They cannot independently available. So because of that is the reason, if they want to be like stable in nature, so that is why always they will undergo, they will take part in a chemical reaction to attain the stability. So during this chemical reaction, the atoms take part always whole number, not in a fraction. That is what you have to remember. So these are the main postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. So anybody having any doubt, you can ask me. As the first point he said, what is the said? Atom is made up of, you can see, is atoms. If you take in solids, also atoms. If you take in liquids, also atoms. If you take in gases, also atoms. So every matter, what is the smallest particle of every matter? Everybody? Atom only. And these atoms cannot be divided further. They are always indivisible. That is what is the main postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. Totally 7 they have. Now, how Mr. Dalton's explains the law of chemical combination. That is what we are going to see. So in the 7 points, that some points are based upon the law of conservation of mass and law of constant proportion. Can you tell me what is that, everybody? What is the postulates? Anybody tell? Which postulates will speak about law of conservation of mass? Which postulates will speak about law of constant proportion? Any one of you?
The second one, sir.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, first one. Law of conservation of mass will what is explained by the which postulates? Everybody see that. The elements consist of what? The elements consist of atoms, and the atoms can neither be created nor be. Yes, please.
Yes,
Atoms can neither be created nor be destroyed during a chemical reaction. So this is the point which will speak about based upon the law of conservation of mass. So explanation of laws of chemical combination by Dalton's atomic theory. Next one. Second one. Law of constant proportion. Which one, everybody? Anybody can tell? Which point? Which point, guys?
The fourth one.
Fourth one or fifth one? Law of constant proportion. A fixed ratio. Fixed ratio. So what is that, everybody?
One.
Fifth point. So explanation of laws of, that is why we'll say Mr. Dalton has formed the Dalton's atomic theory from the laws of chemical combination. That is what you have to remember. So if I take, according to Dalton's atomic theory, who is the smallest particle or smallest unit of any substance? Anybody?
Atom.
Yes. Atoms. Very good. So these atoms can be further divided? No, it cannot be divided. Am I right, everybody? Please respond. So that is why he said atoms cannot be destroyed during a chemical reaction. So according to the Dalton, in a chemical reaction, the atoms, the mass you can take, the atom cannot be created, cannot be destroyed. That is why, that is the reason, according to the Dalton, the mass remains constant during chemical reaction. So we can say that during a chemical reaction, number of atoms of each element in reactants and products remain same or different. Everybody? For example, reactants, 4 atoms are there. In products also, how many will be there? Agalya?
4.
4. That is what. So for example, let me take decomposition of calcium carbonate. Can you tell me the formula of calcium carbonate, everybody? Yes, please. Decomposition of calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate formula. Very bad. Decomposition of calcium carbonate. So what is this actually? Explanation of law of conservation of mass by whom, guys? Mr. John Dalton. Dalton's atomic theory. If I take the calcium carbonate, CaCO3, if I'm started heating, you can see number of calcium atoms are how many? Speak loudly. Calcium atoms. How many,
1.
guys? 1. Carbon atoms. Carbon
3.
atom 1. Oxygen, how many? 3. Oxygen, 3 only for oxygen. Oxygen, how many, guys? 3. Purema, please respond. Now, if I heat this, I'll get a compound products, CaO, calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. Now count number of calcium atoms. Number of calcium atoms, how many? 1. Number of oxygens, 2 plus 1, 3. Number of carbons, 1. So both are equal or not? Reactants and products. Am I right? Hasini Sudhakar, very good. Clear, Shivani? Yes, please respond. So,
Yes, sir.
that is what is the explanation of law of conservation of mass by Mr. John Dalton. So if you take, so it cannot be if the particles cannot be divided, then the substance cannot be destroyed. So during a chemical reaction, so according to that, atoms are the smallest and indivisible, so which will take part in a chemical reaction, but still the mass is always remains conserved. Mass is always remains conserved. That is what is the explanation of laws of chemical combination by Dalton's atomic theory. That is what the first one. What is that? Explanation of the law of conservation of mass. We have been proved or not, everybody? Number of atoms of each element in reactant side, number of atoms of each element in product side remains same or not? Yes, guys? Please respond. All of you. So that is what it is you have to remember. Next, explanation of law of constant proportion. So always it is, you can see, according to John Dalton, what he said, the units or atoms of a compounds have a fixed number of different atoms. If I take any compound, suppose if I take, for example, carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide, what is happening? The carbon atom combines with how many oxygens? Everybody. One carbon atom combines with how many oxygens? Everyone. Please respond. 2 oxygen atom. What is the purpose? To attain the what? I said you, to attain what? Everybody. Stability. Understanding? So their atoms cannot be existed independently. So always they need a pair. Always they need. Understanding? So if they want to attain the stability, they have to be together with somebody. Whom it will be based upon the availability, based upon the reaction. That it will be. Understanding? Same element can be combined with different atoms also. So that is what? Same atom may be combined with a different. That is how we can say like hydrogen combined with oxygen, hydrogen combined with carbon dioxide, hydrogen combined with some other thing, hydrogen combined with some other element. So that is what it can combine with anything. That is what you have to remember. So why they are combining? To attain the what? Everyone. To attain the stability. Now, if you attain the fixed proportion, always 1:2, that is a number. 1 carbon and 2 oxygen. They will always combine and they will make it always together. If you want to find the mass ratios, so I will teach you, just you can see the mass ratios of carbon and oxygen is always remains constant. The masses of carbon and oxygen are also in fixed proportion. Fixed proportion, okay, in a carbon dioxide, okay, carbon dioxide. So it proves that it is only the law of constant composition. So what is law of constant composition? The number of atoms in a particular given compound is always remains fixed proportion. That is what is law of constant proportion. So this is what is the postulates of Dalton's atomic theory and how Mr. Dalton is explaining the law of chemical combination with the help of Dalton's atomic theory. I hope you all understand. Anybody having doubt, you can ask me. Are you clear? Everybody? Alfin, Sangamitrai, that is what it is. Any doubt, you can ask me. Okay, guys? Please respond. Hasani Sudhaka, Kishore, Hasani, understand? Niroshi? Yes, please.
Yes.
Any doubt, you can ask me. Okay? Clear, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any doubt, please let me know. Shall we proceed further? Okay. So this is what it is. Now, what is the drawbacks of Dalton's atomic theory? So after many points, it has been proved wrong. So of course, many points we'll study even next chapter only. But there is, you can see in our book also. So there is a drawbacks of Dalton's atomic theory. So let us study that now. So all of you keep reading. Drawbacks of Dalton's atomic theory. See, somebody has been proposed something. Definitely later it has been maybe proved right. If it is proved wrong, that is what we'll study about under the drawbacks. So that is what is Dalton's understanding. So Dalton's atomic theory. What is the drawbacks of Dalton's atomic theory? That is what we are discussing now. Listen, everybody. So actually the theory is explains many points about the atoms or matter. But you can see here, it could not explain the points which is raised with the advancement and development of field of structural chemistry. That's what. When the time of John Dalton, we don't know what is inside the atom. We don't know how the atoms will react. We don't know why they react. Now we are studying more deeper. We are analyzing the properties. We are like that's what the development of atomic structure. So many things, internal structure, external structure, how it will be reacting, how it will be transfer. Everything we are studying now. But by the time John Dalton don't know anything, what is there inside the atom also, he don't know. That is why first point is invalid. What is the first point, everybody? What is the first point of Dalton's atomic theory? Speak, guys.
Atom is invisible.
Atom is not invisible, indivisible.
Invisible.
Yes, please be careful. So Dalton said that atom is indivisible. But we know that atom is no more indivisible. Atom is no more indivisible. Please note it what Mr. John Dalton said. Atoms are indivisible, but no more they are indivisible because atoms are made up of 3 subatomic particles. Anybody? Like electrons, protons, and as well as what? Everybody? Neutrons. Clear? So, but it is discovered before Dalton or after Dalton? Everyone? After Dalton. That is why we are studying as a under drawback. Purimama? Ellame understand?
Sir,
yes.
but atom is indivisible.
No, atom is divisible. That's what it is proved wrong. Mr. John Dalton said atom is no more. He said atom is divisible, but no more it is divisible. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it is divisible.
Sir, but in the fifth Dalton's theory, have said that atoms are divisible, sir. Indivisible, sir.
What?
In the fifth Dalton's atomic theory, you have said that atoms are indivisible, sir.
I not said atoms are indivisible. Fifth point is what, everybody? They are combined in a fixed ratio. Check it, Mari. No, he said that point based upon atom is indivisible. Do you understand it? But it has been proved wrong. Do you understand, Mari?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that is what I'm saying. He said atoms are indivisible, but by that time he don't know what is inside the atom. Do you understand my point? He don't know
Yes,
what
sir.
is exactly inside the atom. Later only we found it. Atom contains subatomic particles. What is the subatomic particles? Everybody, electrons, protons, and neutrons. That is why it is wrong or not? Everybody, wrong. Next, can you read the
Sir,
second
the
point?
same thing was said by Maharishi Kannad, sir. Then that is
Yes,
also wrong, sir.
but Maharishi Kannan is a theoretical one. But Dalton said after the practical observations. Do you understand?
Sir, but it is wrong.
Yes, Mari, that's what I'm saying. Maharishi Kannad said only atoms. He never described about any property, but Dalton made many properties. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
That is. Of course, that is a disadvantage of Maharishi Kannad also, if you want it. Maharishi Kannad also, you can write. It's nothing wrong in it. These all are like what you can say. It is for only history purpose. Just like initiated. None have done the experiment. That's why we are not studying anything about it. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Second point. What Mr. Dalton said about the mass and properties. Verify pona. Second point. Third point. Solanga. Third. Yeah. Everybody. Third point. Of course, second point to leave. Third point. Read everybody. What is the third point? Speak loudly.
For a particular element, all its atoms are
Identical in all the respects, and they have what?
mass
Same
and
mass
chemical
and same chemical
same property.
properties. But after discovery of isotopes, next class, next chapter you will study isotopes. It has been proved wrong. Maybe the atoms are same element, but their masses is not same. That is what we used to say isotope.